Okay, here we are for round one. Because we are a three color, I think we're going to be on the draw. Also just because we have Day of Judgment. So, I don't like being on the draw in this format because it is so fast, but I think that with three colors we really have to, unfortunately. And his hand looks fine. Hopefully he doesn't have an extremely fast start. We are going to lead out with the plains just because we do have the Abolisher. So one of the changes that I think I'm going to make, sort of thought about it last minute. I realized the interaction between the Oromancer and the Mind Control. So one, I think, change that I would have liked to make to the deck is to run both Oromancers. I think it is going to be better than the Abolisher in the end. Unfortunately, wasn't able to change it at the last minute. Realized a little bit too late. But I think we'll be boarding out into that most of our matches. So. And just because red has so many Bloodthirst triggers here, if he attacks, we are definitely blocking. Like, we don't want to see a Blood Ogre, we don't want to see Stormblood Berserkers. There's so many cards we just don't want to see. Now we definitely play Griffin Sentinel, which is really a lot of work in this setup here, just because it basically holds back his team. So he has the Gorehorn Minotaurs. It's going to be unfortunate, but not a lot we can do about it. Chanter's Outrage will also work. Okay, so now we just drop Veteran with Stave Off backup. And here we are going to use the Stave Off just because, we need to start stopping damage. Mighty Leap. That's fine. Now we can just pro red. Actually, yeah, because if we pro white his guy, then he's still, doesn't die. So we just pro red our guy and we're fine. Okay, so at this point, we're happy to, drop Veteran. Is an interesting play here. If we Ice Cage the Stormfront Pegasus, once this thing blocks, he's going to be able to target the Pegasus, but it will kill it anyway, so we're fine with that. I think we just drop Merfolk and Ice Cage and then bash in. Try to kind of get back into this, pick up some damage. So happy to Ice Cage here. Once again with this guy, I mean, if he wants to get the damage in, he's going to, so there's no reason to block. Like, if he had Gorehorn Minotaurs, he would just play it and force the damage through anyways, so. Okay, so now we can just drop Griffin and pass. Hopefully we can pick up a Great Sword or get a red source. And a Flame Blast Dragon, okay. That's going to be trouble. Alright, so now we pretty much need a second Ice Cage to deal with that. In very, very, very short order. So we don't really have any good attacks here. I mean, no good blocks. We just sort of have to deal with his Flame Blast Dragon. We can buy ourselves a turn with Chandra. You know, hopefully he will go after Chandra when we play it. Okay, so pretty much at this point we have got to top deck the other Ice Cage. It's pretty much our only out. We have Fireball also. So basically the play here is to drop Chandra and like here we can either kill his Arsonist, but I mean that shrinks Chandra, so I think we just like if he has like another like Mighty Leap, we just want to get the Stormfront Pegasus out of the way. Plus now if we draw the Oromancer, we can get the Ice Cage back. That's the real reason. Alright, so now if we bash in, what happens? He's able to get through to Chandra. So we can attack with Solemn. I mean, if we attack with Solemn and we just hope he kills it so we can draw a card. If we attack with these two... Like, he can kill us alone with the Flame Blast Dragon by itself, so... I think we just bash in, just because it doesn't really matter, and hope that he kills the Solemn Simulacrum. So here he probably just whiffs the Merfolk, unfortunately, but... And this should be it. Yep, and he's got the Flame Blast. Okay. We'll see if he targets me. We'll see what happens. You always want to give your opponent the ability to misplay, even if they are not going to. Like, it definitely has happened to me, so, you know, it's always worth at least giving them the option to misplay. Unfortunately, he did not. Okay, so that's game. Alright, so what do we want against red-white? Like, we need to have an answer for his Flame Blast Dragon. We probably have to bring in Cancel. We saw a fair amount of cards we could use Negate on, but I think we just want the Cancel. Definitely bring in Celestial Purge. What else? Oh, and we did actually run the 2 Oromancers main, so I was able to make the change main deck, which is great. Okay. So what is weak here? I still think that Ice Cage is actually a very decent answer. I mean, he is white. I haven't seen any tappers yet, so I think we're going to try to keep the Ice Cage plan going. So what do we take out here? We could just play more of like a defensive game. End up like cutting one of the merfolk maybe. I mean, Fleetwing Haven is fine. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. I mean, we have got the Ice Cage, we've got the cancel. I think we take out one merfolk because we're going to be on the draw anyways. We want to just stall the board and then, you know, drop Day of Judgment or something like that. So I'm kind of tempted to just cut the other merfolk and just play super defensive. Yeah, I think that actually I'm going to go that route. Like we could bring in like a Pride Guardian if we want. But he has flyers also, so that's not quite as good. Okay, I think I'm just going to try it like this. We are going to be on the draw. Okay, so this hand is fine. We've got all colors of our mana. Hopefully can get a decent showing here. Okay, definitely going to be trading. Well, I mean, we could just wait on Chandra to kill Alabaster Mage, so I'm not actually sold with trading. Like, he could have the Gorehorn Minotaurs, but if he does, we just have Celestial Purge. Okay, he's got Tunneler. And a Pride Guardian. Okay. So now we just drop Greatsword, bash in for 2. We take 3, go to 15. Next turn, play Chandra. Kill his Alabaster Mage. Looks good. We could even like hold Purge just in case, you know, he drops a creature, like a red creature. It's actually not a bad plan because, you know, if we put Chandra out onto a board that's, you know, too dangerous, then we might have some trouble keeping her alive, and we definitely want to keep Chandra alive. However, we also need this for his Flame Blast Dragon, so I think we just drop Greatsword here. Like, if things look too dicey, we can just drop Solemn next turn instead. Taking out the Kroll Merfolk was definitely great because, I mean, Pride Guardian just shuts him down completely. Now, I mean, his ideal turn here is for us is to like use Alabaster Mage and both of these guys and just attack. Like, that would be amazing, but probably not going to happen. Okay, so that's fine. So now we just drop Chandra. We take out the... I think we just take out the Alabaster Mage. It's a little bit more dangerous than the Pegasus. Like, we have a Pegasus to block a Pegasus. And like next turn we can drop Peregrine Griffin, so I think that's the play. I mean, like, alternatively, we could have played Solemn there and waited a turn on Chandra, but, you know, I think that Chandra actually is a pretty decent play there. Like, he can use the Tunneler to force through some damage, and that's fine. Hopefully he doesn't have, like, the shock here. Or, like, Chandra's Outrage, but... Okay, so he's got the Mighty Leap, which is unfortunate. Yep, nothing we can do about that. Okay, so now we just drop Griffin, bash for 2. Okay. So like this turn, if he plays Dragon, we just purge it and then play Solemn. Or I suppose... Okay. So we could play Solemn here, get another land in play, let it die, draw a card. It's not the worst play. I think we might just want to play the Griffin, though. Not sure about that. I think we want to be more mana efficient here and just play the Griffin instead. So like this way we can bash for 4, keep up a Griffin, keep racing. Yeah. So now hopefully we draw a land and can play Solemn out. Okay. Well, what's the play? What we could do here, we could just put a Greatsword on one of the Griffins. Then we bash for 7 and just 2-turn him. That way we can keep up Celestial Purge. Yeah, I actually like that play. Then if he's got something, some funny business, we potentially have other plays. Okay, so we put on the Greatsword. We bash in. I think we just bash in with everybody. Let's see, if we don't... Because then we have to purge this guy, otherwise we take too much damage. So we can just swing for 7 and keep the purge. Yeah, it's probably better to swing for 7. So now he needs to keep Stormfront up for blocking. I suppose if we had attacked with Peregrine Griffin last turn, well, no, he could still just block it. Timely reinforcements, yuck. Sure. Okay, there's an Arsonist. The nice thing is we have him on the defensive. Alright, so what is the play? Well, we don't want him to get our Stormfront, so I think we bash in for 7, drop Solemn so we can block the Ogre. Yeah, that actually seems fair. Okay, so we bash for 7 in the air, see what he does. Drop Solemn, have Purge up. Yeah. This way we still put him on a 2-turn clock if he doesn't block. Okay, and he is not blocking. Like this turn, if he doesn't play dragon, yeah, then we can just keep cancel up for it, so we don't have to worry about it. I'm very not sure what he's doing here, but either way, we're just keeping mana up. Okay. So let's see, now we bash for 7 in the air, he blocks here, he goes to 4. That's gotta be the play. Yep. We can drop Griffin, leave up cancel mana. Yeah. Just so we got everything covered. Okay, we got that game. So definitely right move on taking out the Merfolk. Anything else we want to bring in? Do we want maybe like a Harbor Serpent? No, I don't think so. He has a fair amount of guys on the ground. We could potentially bring in a Pride Guardian of our own. Would not be the worst play. I think that the real trick here is just living through the early. Okay, so let's see. If we bring in Pride Guardian, what do we take out? Still haven't seen any tappers. No reason to take out the ice cages. Veteran is good, but we actually have a pretty clogged 3-drop slot. I think that maybe because he's got his own Pride Guardians on the ground. I think we bring in Pride Guardian, take out Veteran, just try to fight the air war, use the Oromancers to get everything else back. Yeah, I like this a little better. Okay, this hand is fine. And he chose to play last. Okay. Always want to feign the mana leak when you can? Sure. Okay. Like, having mind control for his Flame Blast Dragon would be ridiculous if we could get that to work. Yep. Don't care about your Pride Guardian. Or your Circle of Flame. Wow, these cards are terrible against us. That's so funny. I'm so happy he played both these just awful cards against us. So now we can just start leveling up Chandra and go into the Dome eventually. This looks pretty strong, I'm not going to lie. Like, now he can't play Stormfront Pegasus, he can't play the Elite Soldier guy. We have just a lot of options here. We can just sit here and ping him all day long, and then when he overextends, Day of Judgment. Or we could just drop a Greatsword, which also works. Like this way, if he drops like Dragon next turn, we just take it. And this is ridiculous. Like if things get out of hand, we can always just like copy our Celestial Purge and for max value. I mean, we're not going to. We're just going to use the -6 ability, but if he does have something. So I'm not sure what he could have here to really pull out of this situation. So at the moment it's looking pretty one-sided. So now we just ping him for one more, and then just next turn kill him. Like no reason to throw Chandra away in case he's got a trick or something like that. Timely reinforcements, sure. Yep, there's a Blood Ogre. Okay, so I think we just do 6 damage to like all of his creatures and him. I mean, he could. I suppose he could ping Chandra out. Like, there's no reason to really. We could also just like mind control his ogre, get purges. I mean, we have so many options here. Like, I think we just don't want the ogre to get like Mighty Leaped or something, so we can just. Let's see if we do 6 to all of his guys. He goes to 7, goes to 3. If he kills Chandra and then kills the Griffin. No. So if we drop him, okay, I think the answer here is we just purge the ogre, because if he plays the big dragon, we just take it. So we purge the ogre, bash in for 4. We could have done that on his turn too. I mean, we didn't have to do that now. We actually probably should have done that on his turn, but in case he's got the stave off, I think it's an ultimately moot point. Archon, sure. Alright, so we Ice Cage the Archon. I mean, it doesn't even matter. Yeah, Ice Cage the Archon. Bash in for 4, do 6, kill him. Yep, and there's the match. We will see you for round 2.